good morning, and welcome to Tottenham Tantrum Gold, your home of classic games and classic matches, classic debates, and classic everything else you can think of. Good morning. We're actually going to do this morning a bit of a match between Tottenham versus Arsenal, 1993. Kauffer's picked it, so it's bound to be a classic. Kauffe, how are you this morning, sir?
I'm very well, thank you, Dermot. Looking forward to a bit of classic Spurs again. A few goals for you in this one, that's for sure. It's one of those feel-good games for a Spurs fan. Against the scum, giving a good pounding. You can't ask for more.
No, you can't ask for more, that's for sure. And Ben, how are you this morning? How's the coffee shop?
Doing okay this morning. Had a few guests this morning, which is always good. Got to do some work later, but let's have some fun before the work. Work hard, play hard.
Yeah, did you tell them about this channel, though? That's the main thing.
I've got viewers coming very soon. Not Tottenham fans, but they're interested to hear about history of football. So
that's all. Well, I have got we have got on our page a section called World Cup Classic Matches. Matches from like the 82 and 86 World Cup. So there's some classic matches on there. And there's also a new playlist called Classic Formula One Racing as well, from the 70s and 80s. So there's everything on there. I want to say good morning to Crispy1882. How are you? Good morning. Thank you for joining in. And thank you for everybody else who's joining. Please like and subscribe for more content. Right, shall we get the game up, lads?
Why not? Let's just get that going. Oops. A little bit too much volume there. And not the greatest quality in the world, but this is a sort of footage it's difficult to get hold of now.
I don't know what you mean, mate. Watching Arsenal getting beat 5-0 is that's like 80K quality in my book.
And just thank you to Dutch Jive One for the use of this video.
Absolutely, he's got some great stuff. He keeps adding to the catalogue on his page as well. So check it out if you want to hear this game with its original commentary as well. Get over to Dutch Jive One so pick out from one of many.
I was watching last night, guys. I found it on, I think it was on Dutch Jive. I found last night. The rest of the world versus a combined League 11. It was like for the centenary of the First Division. And I was watching Platini. Platini had just retired. Maradona was at his height in Napoli. By Jesus, he got some booze every time he touched the ball.
It was so funny. Remember that.
The only place he's accepted is Tottenham for some strange reason. So
I remember the build-up for that match because you're thinking, come on, please be all Spurs players on both sides.
But I think the league won 2-0. I think 2 Brian Robson goals. I think.
I can't remember the result to be honest, mate. I remember the occasion though. It was quite a bit of fun.
White Hart Lane in the sunshine. Is that Alan Brazil?
It is Alan Brazil. I'll just put up the team a second. Hang on. Here we go. Clements, Houghton, Miller, Roberts, O'Reilly, Mabbott, Galvin, Archibald, Brazil, Falco, and Gibson.
What an underrated striker Alan Brazil was. Brilliant.
He was excellent.
Then got injured, and then he went to Tottenham. Then he went to Manchester United.
Yeah, he popped up on some big teams, didn't he?
But it was Ipswich where he made his name, wasn't it? So there's Stevie P.
Interesting though from this era, and you don't see Glenn Hoddle there, and you don't see Ardiles, and you don't see Mickey Hazard, and you're thinking, where's the creativity in this team? So look, some hard-working players there.
Yeah. And thank you for everyone who joined in last night to see my Tottenham all-time Spurs 11. That's actually been put up on our Twitter page and on our Instagram page as well. So if people want to have a look, then give us their thoughts on that team. What did you think of my all-time 11, Ben?
It was an excellent team. You'd be very, very hard work to beat that team. If you beat that team, you've had a good game that day, because there are some absolute hard-ass bastards that could play football in that team. So not many teams could beat that.
No, it was a striker for me. I was very tempted to go for Steve Archibald, but I just had to go for Robbie Keane. I just couldn't do it. But I was
After,
actually,
yeah, after we finished, Phil and I were almost crying with laughter because the anticipation on the forward, and we were
yeah.
both been saying before it, he's going to put in Robbie King. Let's just.
I'm
It
still
doesn't matter who
heartbroken
we are.
by that man, so he wouldn't be in my team, unfortunately.
All the greats we had, and it was guaranteed you were going to pick the Irishman. Good player, though. I mean,
Yeah.
great crowd favourite as well. So won't be too annoyed with that choice if
I
I
was
saw
actually
it.
going to pick Steve Archibald, to be fair. It was just at the last
Good
minute I
player.
changed my
Yeah.
mind. I had in my head Steve Archibald or Gary Lineker, and I thought, well, no, I'll go for somebody which nobody's going to think I'm going to go for, because everybody would go for like Clinton and Harry Kane and all this, and
Yeah.
tough and that. And I just felt that, Robbie Keane was a decent player, got some decent goals.
Mm.
A bit like Jermaine.
Quality footballer, yeah.
Yeah, like Jermaine Defoe as well. Very underrated. I thought Jermaine Defoe was very underrated as a striker, even for us.
It was decent. I don't think you could really play him up front by himself, though. Really, could you? It was
No.
not that sort of player. Well, I wouldn't play Lineker up front by himself either, to be honest. Some players more suited to it. When you compare to the likes of Sheringham, Berbatov, Kane, those sort of players, they can hold that front line pretty well by himself.
Yeah.
Not very good pitch condition, is it?
No.
You look at those goal areas, all the sand that's been put down there by the looks of it.
Yeah. Again, just very quickly, big up to Bob Spur. I hope he's all right today. So also the picture. I saw a picture last night on the creators WhatsApp comment, and he's been put on the less rigorous ventilator, I think. Was something to take the muck off the lungs anyway.
That's good. It means they don't have to, what's it called, induce him in a coma.
No.
Yeah,
no.
That's a big step, isn't it? That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. But big up Bob Spur, and big up Kim as well. We're all here for you, Kim. We're behind you, and if you need anything, where all three of us are. I know I can't do a lot from Ireland, but I'm sure Ben or people who are nearer in England will do their best. So big up to them too.
I was lucky enough to be on Mr. K's show last night on THFC Rants, and Kim was on there as well. Just for a little bit, not long. Oh, sorry, forgive me for one moment. I'm just going to take a phone call.
Ben, just a quick question about this game. I mean, Tottenham were better than Arsenal at this point, with all the players in that. I mean, you look at the pictures then to now. I mean, it's been a big difference in British football, hasn't there?
Massive difference.
Yeah,
I mean, this was when Tottenham was run properly as a football club, and we bought players that genuinely cared about the football club, and it showed because we were far better than the scum, like a country mile. We had better crowd attendance, sometimes up to 50-odd thousand at the Old Lane before safe sitting came in. We had a better team. We had better fan attendances. It's just like how a team as glorious as this didn't win a European trophy, or like a Champions League, a European Cup, or a league title. It's bemusing to me, but sometimes it's just not meant to be. So the players in that team could easily go in the all-time English League first 11 easily, especially players like Falco and Alan Brazil. I mean, Chrissy Houghton, Gary. The players in that team, they are superstars, but they were great lads as well. So maybe that's why they weren't picked, because they weren't showing getting absolutely smashed every single week.
I mean,
so who knows?
Just a big up to Mike Cousins as well. Mark, good morning. Thank you for coming on yesterday. It was lovely to see you. and Wayne Bonner as well. Wayne, good morning. Hope you're enjoying this, mate. A little bit of a good feel factor before the leather game tomorrow. I mean, what's your memories of this game, Cooper?
Well, drubbing Arsenal. I remember more about the feeling after it than the game itself, because I was still fairly young at this point. I must have been about 12 or so. So I've just got the sort of more into the sort of tactics side of the game and things at that age. Started playing a bit myself. So it was just a bit of a disappointment at first, like I said, because I wanted to see Glenn Hoddle, I wanted to see Mickey Hazard, Ozzy Ardiles, but it just showed what depth the squad had. When you're squatting aside your fierce rivals like this, it's just such a good feeling. I mean, the crowd was absolutely buzzing. We're all singing on the way home. It's just one of those incredible feelings, isn't it? You want more of it every single time. Notice a few of the players, Arsenal players, that were having a bit of a battle with over the coming years as well, like Paul Davis. He does an absolute brilliant miss in this one. He hits it clean out of the stadium with a shot. It's so bad. Yeah, just good memories all round.
Do you want to answer that one from Wayne Bonner? Good.
Yes, it is the one where we whoop them 5-0. Bit of a rarity. Couple of Chrissy Houghton goals in one game.
Even he wanted to score against the scum. I mean,
it shows how much of an advanced fullback he was back then compared to many others.
That's why I picked him in. That's why I picked him in the all-time 11. He's such a reliable fullback. He can play left back or right back.
Such an attacking player as well.
And just a nice bloke as well. Just a really nice bloke.
Yeah.
It's a shame he didn't really make it as a manager in terms of being a top-level manager, because I would have had him any day of the week.
I thought he did quite well at Brighton.
Yeah, but he didn't stay there for long.
Here we go. Get in there.
Get in there, Chrissy Houghton.
This must be off Tottenham. This must be off Tottenham's own TV.
See, there we go. There's the proper Chrissy Houghton hair that we remember. The other day, I swear he was playing, and I couldn't recognise him. His haircut was so severe.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Wayne Bonner, it was filmed by the security cameras.
Yeah.
They keep looking over at the fans seeking to see any trouble.
The actual commentary from this one's really hilarious as well. It feels like it's a couple of lads who have just pulled up with their own table and they're doing an ad lib as they're going along.
Do you remember Sky used to do the fan commentary in Sky?
Yeah, it used to be the greatest.
Yeah, and we were playing Arsenal, and I think we either scored in the 4-4, we beat them, and the Tottenham fan took his top. He looked like he was jumping the top of the Arsenal fan at one point, doing something doing to him. It was so funny. I watched it the other night. It was like, should this be X-rated? That's what it looked like.
It was funny.
That was a legendary goal. Good old Aaron Lennon. Absolutely smashed it.
I tell you, Bentley scored a better in that one as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Modric was brilliant that day. Bentley, that goal was ridiculous. It's a shame he didn't do anything else for us, but that goal will certainly cement him. That was a great goal.
I think the best Arsenal Tottenham game I went to, I've got two stories. One was when we beat them 3-2 when we were 2-0 down. We're away at the Emirates.
I was there.
And the second one, I went to a Tottenham game with a friend of mine, and it was before the match, and we went to the pub for a pint. It was so packed downstairs, we went upstairs, like to the upper level of the pub. And we're just looking out the window. Next thing we see all these Spurs fans running down the high road. I'm like, what the fuck's happening here? And all Arsenal fans are chasing them, right? So we're thinking, oh, Jesus is going to kick off now and all this. Just thinking, idiots. Next thing, about 10 minutes later, we see the Arsenal fans running up the road, Spurs fans after them, and the Gardaí after them. It was the most funniest sight you've ever seen in your life. It was like, right, the Gardaí are coming back, right, we're going to get you now. And both sets of fans are running for their lives, sort of thing. It was so funny. It was only about 10 or 15 or 20 people, but it was the most funniest thing you've ever seen in your life.
I mean, I think the best one I saw was that game where I think it was, I don't know if it was 2-1 or it was 2-0 when Bale and Lennon scored. But that was that was the first time we really saw that even there was no way they were beating us that day. Even before the game, we knew we were having them on toast.
Yeah.
And they just could not do anything against us.
Yeah.
What
a goal. What an absolute belter. Mount Fat. He was a great striker. Just want to get his comments in before we get you in, Cooper. Mike Cousins says, I've still got the shirt with Bentley 40 on the back. Wow. And Sean Butler said, good morning show. Sean.
Morning,
and
Sean.
everyone get over to his YouTube channel. What's it called? Is it Spurs Talk Show? Is it? Is that what it's
just
called?
Spurs Talk Show.
Yeah, everyone get over there. I've subscribed. I'm sure the lads here have subscribed as well.
Yeah.
And all get over there. And Sean, we'll have you on next week or the week after for either your Spurs all-time 11 and also your favourite match. We'd love to have you on for that. So just
that'll be a good little combination as well.
Yeah. So we'll do that the same show actually. We'll do his all-time 11 and then we'll do his favourite match afterwards. So let us know when you're free, Sean. And that goes to Wayne and Mark and Crispy as well. We'll get you on if you'd like to come on, and we'll do you all. Love to do it. So
and anybody else that would like to do that. That's great. Any Spurs fan, welcome.
Would love Sean. Just DM me or DM Coover or Phil, and we'll sort that out for next week.
In fact, perhaps we could have any Arsenal fan as well, and then while they're doing that, we can show their team getting smashed.
Yeah. And no, Sean is saying, I want you guys and all my things when I get going to, please. Yeah, we'll be on the two. And I'm sure that goes to Google. Do you want to say something to Sean?
Well, yeah. I mean, he talks a good game. What can I say? Yeah. Somebody that's talks the virtues of the Levy period against me, who's very much anti-Levy. And yet can able to have a conversation about it. It's quite refreshing. I like the way he talks, and he's got great enthusiasm for the club. But there's that nice Paul Davis miss. I love that one.
Did you see the police behind there just standing on the terraces just watching the match? It's quite funny.
I feel like my all-time 11 is slightly cheating because I put Gary Babbitt in, because I was born in 95 and he retired in 97. And if I did see him, I would have been 2 years old. I was being taken because my dad was like, I'm not leaving Ben at home. I'm taking him at football. And my mum's like, why are you taking a 2-year-old White Hart Lane? It's just like,
Sean, this is Spurs Arsenal, April 1983.
Filmed on a security camera by the local plob.
It's a thing that they've got good taste.
Yeah.
But,
Wayne Bonner says, for the shot, that was a hell of a clearance by Davies.
It was. It's kind of impressive when you miss the target by that distance.
I mean, this was... there's Alan Brazil.
That was unlucky.
It was unlucky. I mean, again, he was so underrated, and it was so unlucky with injuries, Alan Brazil.
Yeah.
It really was. There's a great morning show on TalkSport on Thursday and Fridays, I think.
Annie McCoist and Alan Brazil, they're a great listen.
Oh, Alan McCoist, there's another funny fella. He's so
just another really lovely bloke as well. Just like, you like listening to lovely people.
I know. We love listening to you, Ben. You've got a great radio voice as well.
I've got a face for radio as well.
No, I didn't say that.
Just hide it and just hear the voice.
Sean saying amazing how much we have on the archive. Again, with another video from the Duck Jive One's archive over at his channel, YouTube channel. Amazing stuff. A lot of England games there from the past, and lots of rare footage because he's taken the time to take it all off VHS and get it to a streamable sort of content.
Yeah.
So amazing channel. Go and have a look. You've got the original commentary with it as well, rather than us wittering away like the old men we
We
are.
do send Phil. We do send Phil down to the Tottenham Tantrum Towers down to the vault, don't we? Rarely.
Yeah.
He goes into Dutch Eye vault.
Oh, I shouldn't say we're all old men. I mean, Ben's half my age, almost exactly half my age. But
Got a mental age of 80 though.
that's Spurs for you. We've had this conversation before, haven't we?
We've had this conversation.
3-0. Was that Chrissy Houghton here?
Chrissy Houghton again.
Goal machine.
But yeah, I was 2 in 1997, but Gary Mabbott's going in my team anyway. I don't care. If anyone has a problem with that, they can sue me.
Don't sue the channel, just sue Ben, please.
Yeah, sue me for being a Gary Mabbott fanatic.
Dodge Drive 1 has some amazing Spurs games on this channel. So that's great.
He does indeed. I'll leave it at the bottom of the screen for a while as well. Though.
And then Wayne Bondler says, thanks, mate. I mean, this stream cannot work without Dodge Drive 1.
Yeah.
He was so kind to give us his permission.
Absolutely.
So we've got some great games. I mean, tonight we've got the 1962 FA Cup semi-final, Tottenham versus Leicester from Hillsborough. Do you know Hillsborough was probably one of the first stadiums in the 60s to build a stand with it being all seated?
Yeah.
I think Sheffield Wednesday was the first club to do that.
It was always a lovely ground to go to. So two of my favourite away games, Sheffield Wednesday and playing Aston Villa. Villa Park's a really nice venue to go to.
Newcastle for me.
Yeah, I didn't get so many of them. It's just too far out of the way for me. I've only been two Newcastle away games in 40 years. That's not a lot.
What's the referee giving here? It's giving
Fulham away is a lovely away day as well. I really, really like Fulham away.
They've probably got the prettiest stadium out of anybody, haven't they?
Also, Lyon away was a great day out. And the French treated us all like shit, but we left there with the victory. So that's all that matters for me.
Right. I'll let you answer this one, Cooper.
From Sean Butler, how does it work with copyright? Is it because they are over a certain age that they're free to stream, or can you stream any games from any era? I think it depends entirely where you get it from. It's, I mean, I can't tell with how Duck Jive did all his, but I believe he paid to get the original VHS tapes. So you'd have to ask him that one, unfortunately.
But as for us showing them, we get permission from him. I think also that's what Sean's trying to get at as well.
Yeah, I think things become intellectual property when they've. The copyright laws are strange because it varies from country to country as well. Yeah. I know after things ridiculous long time in this country, I think it's 70 years that it becomes public domain no matter what. Music, unless you've specifically got some things set in place legally for it. But before then, it's a case of just you have to ask whoever broadcasted it originally, or whoever had the rights to broadcast their broadcasting after that. So it's an interesting one. I think with the things with these like VHS ones, it's not going to be such a big issue because the mainstream broadcasters literally don't show this stuff anymore.
But we're very lucky. I mean, he gives permission, so we've got such a great, back catalogue of games, haven't we? Really.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky he gives permission to use that. I mean, that's the main thing. If you're using the used content from another YouTubers, we made the mistake, but we sort of rectified it very quickly. Do email them first, just to say, is it okay? Can I use it for my channel? And 9 out of 10, most of the YouTube channels have these games will say yes.
Yeah, there's a few I'm waiting on. They haven't replied to me yet. But looking at some other similar channels to Duck Jives, but he's got the standout one for me. He's really got a lot of content I like. What's the other one? Yeah, we probably won't be, almost certainly wouldn't be showing any sort of Sky Sports games, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're going to want full royalties for showing anything from them. Which is a bit of a pity because we'd like to throw in some fairly recent games, wouldn't we? The sort of Robbie Keane sort of era, that sort of thing. Bit of Ledley King, that would be great. So might have to wait for other competitions with them in that time period.
Yeah. But we will. I mean, we're going back to the 70s, and we've got loads of 60s match of the days, haven't we, on there as well on this channel watch. I'm looking forward to doing.
Yeah.
Spurs versus Blackburn, 1966, away at Blackburn, or Tottenham versus Sheffield Wednesday. The great Jimmy Greaves was in there, Allingham in, people like that. Mark Cousin says, "Big up Ben. As you know, my hero should be Sir Gary." What do you say to Mark?
It should be Sir Gary. The amount of charity work that man has done in the name of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, just what he's done just for Gaza itself deserves a knighthood. The reason that man is alive today is because of Gary Mabbott. During the pandemic, ringing 15 people a day to make sure they're all right and their mental well-being. The man is just stalwart, a pillar of what is great about Tottenham and about British values in terms of how to treat people. It's just like he's just an unbelievable human being, and he should have been knighted by now. And the fact that he isn't is a disgrace.
Yeah.
We've got Sean Butler also saying understood, and he's saying so cool, guys, great concept. Our friend is, I'll let you read that one out because I always get a name wrong.
Guguma, morning Guguma.
I always call her like the character out of Guardians of the Galaxy. I ended up calling her like that, which is not fair, and I do apologise. I am trying to learn your name, but I do apologise. But I get so good morning, and thank you for joining in. And Wayne Bonner saying hello to our Gumura. So I can't get it.
Guguma. Yeah. I'm sure Guguma will forgive you. Guguma's lovely.
I just can't get it. I'm sorry. I keep calling you the lady out of Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know if that's a compliment. Well, she's a superhero, so there you go.
Yeah, there we are.
We've got a very own superhero on our channel. And then she's speaking to Raina. So Tottenham 3-0 up, lads. Playing very well. Steve Archibald here on the ball.
Like a surprise stallion.
I'm still thinking I should have picked him, in my all-time 11. I had him on the bench, though.
It wouldn't have been a bad shout. He was a fantastic player for us.
She's saying it's no problem. It's all good. Thank you. Sorry.
If I remember rightly, when the third goal went in, we started up the usual chant of "We want 10." Didn't last long, but it was funny at the time.
And then Ryan Bonner says, "I'll let you read this one out here." Ben, I'll let you read this one out, Ben.
It's true. Life doesn't get better than watching Tottenham Tantrum goal for these fine gentlemen beside me or above me. I mean, it's just like you've got to celebrate the history of what makes a particular fan base brilliant, and it's just brilliant to reminisce with history and show that Tottenham is a thing. That Tottenham was always a thing, and we can get back to this era. If you forget history, it's not good. So we need to reminisce on our history.
There you go, Ben. I've a bit of time in the middle. You're always getting cut off at the bottom there.
Sorry, Ben.
It is what it is.
I'll just peek over the top here.
Yeah. Go on. Do you want to read out his comment, though, Cooper? Go on. Well, Ben gave a brilliant answer.
Ben just answered it, basically.
Yeah. I just like to read it out in case people that can't see.
Okay, that I am at Guguma. Finish work and get to come home and watch Tottenham Tantrum Gold and some old Spurs. Life doesn't get better than that. And as Ben says, totally agree with that.
Yeah, I agree
love
with
all
Ben.
the old games.
And then, do you want to read the bottom one out for us, Cooper?
Yep, Gaguma replying to Wayne Bonner. Yes. I love this concept of playing past games. I've never seen them before. That's lovely. Yeah, that's really nice to know, because there's a lot of fans won't have seen these sorts of games because nobody's broadcasting them nowadays. So it's up to the fans to sort of bring it back on the likes of YouTube, isn't it?
Derek Hutchinson says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon, Derek. Thank you for joining in." And then I'll let you read the bottom one out. Read that one out there, people, first.
Yep, that's Wayne Bonner again. Here they have best of Tottenham specials on sports TV, but never see these older ones. This is a treat. Brilliant. Thank you, Gaguma.
Thank you.
It's nice to know you can have a bit of historical games as well. There's a lot of our fans in this country won't have seen these sorts of games. That's why we're so keen to start bringing it back. Let's have a look at our old great players.
It was something Mr. K does in his channel that got me thinking. There's a few people I think that can't see when they're watching his channel, so that's why I'm making the effort to read every comment out, or between the three of us read them out, because it just helps people just see what we're talking about, and so they can get in the conversation as well. So it's just a little thing I picked up from Mr. K, who absolutely did a fantastic show last night. And I missed you on there, Cooper. I actually waited, and then I had to go and do something. Come on, I found the stream had finished. So
yeah, unfortunately, Mr. K had some commitments suddenly came up from off stream, so we had to end it early, unfortunately.
Have you got the channel? Good plug.
Ooh.
I'd like to know what tea Gaguma's drinking, because I'm looking for some tea for the old shop, because a bit of green tea in the evening definitely settles everything. It's a great way to end the day. So if you could put in the chat what tea you're drinking, that's definitely have a look at that.
There's a corner here for Spurs. Thank you for everyone who's joining in and watching at the moment. If you're enjoying this match, please like and subscribe. We're now on Facebook and we're now on Instagram, and hit the notification button. And did Mark sort out the notifications, Cooper? Did Mark Cousins get his notifications?
He did. It was a case of unsubscribing, resubscribing, and it seemed to fix the issue. So there's some strange things happen sometimes with these applications, we know. I've just put up the team from this match again. Not a substitution was used this match for us, which is quite a rarity considering what it's like nowadays.
You sure Nuno wasn't in charge of the step?
Yeah, I was just about to say something about Nuno.
The garden gnome.
Yeah, probably still see him stood there now.
Have sales gone down in garden gnomes in England, have they, guys?
I think so.
Yeah. Gone down by 50%.
Or they've gone up so people can smash them around the head with a baseball bat.
Well, we don't. Firstly, I'd like to say this channel does not invite violence to gnomes in any way, shape, or form. Please leave them. They're such an integral part of our society, and they should be treated with the same rights as everyone else should. Sorry, I just thought that was too good not to say.
Well, it's appropriate to call Nuno the garden gnome because Levy always puts managers onto gardening leave.
Yeah.
So I let you read this one out, Ben, if you like. Read that comment out for
black and white. It'd be cool to watch a black and white football game. No, I'm very curious. I want to see that kind of football back then. You have to tune into Tottenham Tantrum Gold. We've shown a couple of black and white games on here. We need to do one.
We're doing one tonight. No, we're not. We'll do one Monday.
I thought we were doing the 1962.
No, we're doing the Tottenham Leicester semi-final tonight because Leicester came tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's we can do a black and white one tomorrow, couldn't we? Tomorrow morning.
Friday. Or Thursday.
Sorry, what's that?
It's tomorrow Thursday.
Oh,
it is indeed.
You suddenly had me doubting what day it was then.
Yeah. And
Have I missed something?
Yeah, and it's half time here. Spurs 3, Arsenal. This is for we do Mark Cousins first. Not sure if we could because we were relegated, but if it's possible to get when we beat Bristol Rovers 9-0.
Yeah, I very much doubt we'd be able to get that one if it was even recorded at all.
It's on Doc Drive's channel somewhere along the
What, the
line.
9? Really?
Yeah, I think so.
An old Division 2 match,
Yeah,
televised
I've watched it on YouTube. It is on YouTube, that game.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, let's get that on.
Yeah.
There's Glenn Hoddle playing in that.
Yeah, and then this is for you, Ben.
Papaya black tea. I mean, in the next 2 years, I'm definitely going to head out that way. I want to go to Japan for once in my life because it seems like an incredible country. And Korea is definitely on the list as well to try some of that stuff. And because I love drinking coffee like this, which is very Korean, Japanese. So I love drinking that stuff.
I've just realised we must be in the posh stand. We've seen all the posh people there. And they're looking, their business suits and everything there. Thank you very much to everyone who's commented on our stream this morning. And Derek Hutchison is saying good afternoon to good morning.
Indeed. Don't forget, if you're enjoying the channel, please hit like and subscribe because that certainly helps us out. Our dream is going to be to reach 200 subscribers by Christmas. That's going to be a tough call, but we're hopeful. Perhaps a few quality videos and a few nice results, and everybody will be in a nice mood for it.
Especially if we win tomorrow, if the game's on.
Yeah, be nice just to have some football again. It
Jingle
feels
bells.
like forever already.
I don't know if you saw the breaking news this morning, but Sergio Aguero, Manchester City's all-time record goal scorer, has announced his retirement from football at the age of 33 due to health reasons.
Yeah, it's a real shame. He was an incredible footballer. Just watching him play against us, one of the all-time greats, in my opinion. I mean, I think he's definitely in a shout of being the best striker in the Premier League's history. He was unbelievable.
I disagree with you there, Ben. I really disagree with you then. I mean, you can't miss out the players like Ian Wright and Alan Shearer.
Yeah. He's in the conversation now. The amount of goals he scored. Ian Wright was unbelievable. Shearer's probably the number one because Shearer is Shearer. He's the all-time record goal scorer. But someone like Aguero, everyone thought he wouldn't make it because of his stature, because he just wasn't the biggest bloke. He came here and he took the world by storm. Like on his debut against Swansea, that 35-yard screamer out of nowhere. Unbelievable footballer.
And how many more goals would he have got if he wasn't so injury prone?
Yeah.
You have the likes of Ericsson as well. I mean, Ericsson will have to retire as well, won't he?
Yeah.
I mean,
He'll have to.
That's a shame.
It's the smart thing to do. It's, I mean, you can't put your life at risk to play football. I don't know why Daley Blind still does it. It's putting your life in your own hands. You've had one scare. Just like, you've got enough money. Think about your family for once.
Yeah, I suppose if you haven't got the family, you're just enjoying the football yourself, you probably would be tempted. I mean, I must admit, it took a lot for me to have to quit, and that was just playing non-league sort of rubbish football compared to this. But you do have to start thinking about your family, don't you? A lot of people depending on you, a lot of people love and want you around, so you can't be selfish.
Yeah. I'd like to see who they signed to replace him. I think it's Aubameyang, the player they're going to sign to replace him.
That's one to ask you. Do you think a Harry Kane move to Man City's now dead in the water?
Yeah, I do.
Yes,
personally.
I think it is. I mean, he's too much money for them. I mean, due to financial fair play. But I think with a proper... the reason Kane wanted to go is not because he wanted to leave Tottenham. The reason he wanted to go is because he was under a garden gnome. Like he wanted
to. Ben, I disagree with you again. He wanted to leave because he wanted to win trophies. He wanted to leave under Mourinho when he left, he wanted to leave then, and then he wanted to leave. He wanted to leave because he wanted to win trophies. Nothing to do about managers or anything. The only reason he's staying now, to be honest, is because we've got Conte,
which is a proper manager. So if he couldn't see that Nuno was going to win him a trophy, I'd be wanting to go for the door.
Mm.
And City should go for Haaland, as Mark Cousins said. That's the perfect fit. His father played for Man City. His father's a Man City legend. He should go to Man City and see if he can follow in his father's footsteps. Because I think that's the beauty of football. Football should be a representation of your family and your community. And it'd be brilliant to see Haaland go to Man City. I mean, players like Harry Kane should play for Tottenham their entire life because they are Tottenham through and through. And that's the way I want to see football go back to, as a reflection of their communities.
Right, I just got a few quotes going there, and then I'm actually going to make an exit from this. I didn't know Haaland's father played for Man City, to be honest with you.
He was the guy that Roy Keane broke his leg, remember?
Oh,
Roy Keane snapped his leg.
Was that his father?
Yeah, that was his father.
Ooh. And then I'm going to leave you in the capable hands. I'm going to switch Cooper up to the top bit, leave you in the capable hands of Cooper and Ben. Phil, Harry, our co-host, Phil Latiz, he'll be back with us tonight from 5:30, I think. And then I'll let you go through the rest there, Cooper. Gentlemen, very sorry I have to bounce out, but I have to a personal
get your stuff done.
Take care of. Yeah. And I'll see you all tomorrow morning. I'll do the whole show tomorrow morning.
I will probably not got do some training in Shoreditch. I will probably not be here tomorrow, unfortunately. But
all right. Well, me and Cooper are thinking we might put on the full match tomorrow morning. Then Cooper, what do you think?
Sounds like an idea.
Yeah, I think so. Seems to work, doesn't it? It's a nice backdrop for us chatting away.
But anyway, thank you all for watching. I'm dropping out here, and Cooper, over to you.
Cheers, Dermot.
Catch you later, Dermot.
Actually, let's have you at the top, shall we, Ben? Go on. You can be. It gives you the important role then, doesn't it? Mark Cousins saying Man City will go for Haaland. It seems quite a likely sort of thing, doesn't it? The only question is, does he fit their sort of slick footballing style? He's more of a. Does. You think so? Yeah.
He's an elite level footballer. He is unbelievable for his age. The speed, the technical ability. He's a generational footballer, I think.
Oh, absolutely. He's got all the talents you need as a striker. I'm just thinking along the lines of, does he fit the footballing style? That is a beauty. Is that Mark Falco again?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was an underrated player, wasn't he? With Haaland, though, I always think, does he really sort of fill in for an Aguero type player? Because they're very different.
I think Guardiola's trying to change the style because he knows he can't play this false nine system anymore with teams like Chelsea. Man United are going to be a much more solid unit. Liverpool are a much more solid unit. You're going to need someone a bit of beef up front to really get the best out of players like Grealish and Sterling and Riyad Mahrez. They need a big man up top. Football's going back to this target man style game, I think, and I'm really looking forward to it. Because
having said that, Lukaku's struggling at Chelsea, isn't he?
I think he's got a few injuries, to be honest, and I think the team's not fully working for him because Lukaku's again an elite level footballer, in my opinion. I mean, he's an elite level finisher, so the team's got to create him chances.
I didn't rate Lukaku until he had that time in Italy, and when he really developed there. Much better footballer now.
It's because of Antonio Conte. Get on the training pitch every day. Take the ball in, ball to chest, turn, use your pace, use your speed. Roll. He's the best player in the world at rolling defenders. So use that.
Yeah. Phil here saying hi all in chat. Thank you for joining the Tottenham Tantrum Gold Army. Yeah, thank you indeed. And cheers, Phil. We'll be seeing you again later, mate. Goguma, wow, Haaland's father was a player too. Yeah, we just talking about that as well. Inge Haaland. Yes, he was He had that famous clash with Roy Keane because he put Roy Keane out of action for quite some considerable amount of time first. Talk about holding a grudge.
Absolutely. I mean, it's disgusting what he did, but that's football.
Wayne Bonner, Roy Keane was the plastic hard man, would have bottled it against Dave Mackay. I think most players would bottle it against Dave Mackay.
I think Mike Tyson would bottle it against Dave Mackay.
Yeah, Dave Mackay wouldn't have backed down from Mike Tyson, that's for sure.
Absolute legendary bloke.
Yeah, indeed. Hell of a footballer as well to go with it. That's probably what made him so unusual.
Yeah, very loyal as well. Like even one of the Hearts fans have a special place. Like after his football career, he was commentating on a game like Tottenham versus another one of his teams, and they asked him who was he supporting between Tottenham and whoever was playing. He said, "I don't support these teams. I support Hearts," because he was a Hearts man, the Hearts of Midlothian. So it showed how loyal a football man he was and how special a human being he was. I know it was Tottenham versus Derby, because he played for Derby for a bit when he became player manager.
He did. When we seemed to think his career would be over after his
second broken leg.
Yeah, two broken legs. I mean, I suppose back in the day, you'd think that's really going to put an end to you because you haven't got all the sort of sports science and the sort of recovery techniques of today. But he just had the will and determination to come back, then win the league with Derby as well. There's unbelievable player. What an influence on the team.
Yeah, legendary footballer.
Yeah. There's no way we were going to ever regain that spirit of the double winning side without Mackay in it. He really did make the team.
We've made some poor decisions over the year. I don't know if Bill Nick made it. Would have been Bill Nick making that decision, but it's probably the only feather in his cap of Bill Nick making a poor decision. But again, he probably had to think of the team.
You'd probably have to assume that they've all had a conversation, chairman and board members, and thinking, even the coaches, is this the end of it? And maybe even with Dave Mackay himself. Dave Mackay would never say it was over. Of course he wouldn't.
And that's a proper player, in my opinion. Yeah. Going until you going out on your back rather than going out because you've been told to go.
In fact, maybe letting him go is what inspired him to win the league with Derby. Perhaps it was a fingers up to us, so that we shouldn't have let him go.
Mm.
But fantastic player anyway.
Yeah. Especially with the stuff with Billy Bremner. It's just like legendary stuff.
It is. All-time classic photos. One of my favourite ever.
I don't know if we can get that match on... I don't know if Duck Jive has that match, but I'd definitely love to reminisce on that game. That was a proper game of football.
That's going to be that'll be towards the end of the 60s.
Yeah, so, it would be.
Because that would have been after he'd broken his leg. So, I think the story was Dave Mackay had come back from a broken leg, and Billy Bremner, being Billy Bremner, was putting himself about and being a bit of a dirty player.
Yeah, as usual.
And of course, Dave Mackay, still obviously going to be mindful after breaking your leg. He got caught by one of those challenges and grabbing his shirt and famously holding up with the gritted teeth. And Billy Bremner there,
fiery Scotsman.
Yeah, so innocent looking all of a sudden.
Yeah. Good morning to Alexander Hilton and our good friend, the Irish Hotspur, Mr. David Harris. Welcome to this great showing of us absolutely whooping the Woolwich.
Derek Hutchinson, Dave Mackay was a steamroller. He certainly was.
Steamroller is a Dave Mackay rather than Dave Mackay was a steamroller.
Yeah, that's right. Steamroller wanted to be Dave Mackay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something in common that I always loved about Gary Mabbott as well. It's the huge barrel chest sticking out. It's like sign of confidence. Everything's going to be all right if you're with me, sort of thing. Yeah, just awesome. Yeah, big up to David at the Irish Hotspur.
Maybe put the link in the chat to see if Dave wants to join. If he wants to join, he's always welcome to watch the Woolwich getting spanked. I know.
Certainly could.
I mean, I think everyone loves to watch the Arsenal getting spanked.
I've just got to quickly put this one on. Wayne Bonner, a steamroller would have bottled it against David.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Shall I put the link in the chat?
See if
then?
anyone wants to join.
Absolutely. Why not?
Anyone wants to join, whether it's Mark or whether it's Dave or even Gaguma or anyone. Oh, we can't join today. No problem, Dave.
All right. Best of luck with that anyway, David.
Yeah, best of luck. I mean,
Gaguma, watching this game, for some reason the players look tougher than the modern game. It's because they were really.
They were hard as nails. They weren't ever. What's it called? They never bottled a challenge. They never had crayons in their hair.
That's right. Generally speaking, if you got whacked, you picked yourself up, dusted yourself up, dusted yourself off, and looked to take a bit of petty revenge later on. It's the famous Graham Roberts quote, isn't it? Football's a game of skill. They kicked us and we kicked them.
Yeah, that's the one.
And you needed players like that back then. You'd need somebody that was going to stick up for you if it all kicked off. None better than Graham Roberts. Morning, Celery Agent. Always good to see you, mate. Leicester predicted lineup.
The team in white. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, we could have. Well, what do we think that's going to be? That's.
We don't even know who's got COVID.
It's a difficult one at the moment.
Yeah. We don't even know the squad for the game. So,
if we have the same first 11 that we've generally been sticking around the last few matches, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
But
it all depends if Sonny's fit. If Sonny is still got COVID, that's a real problem for us. But like even Ben Davis, as we learned from watching the Irish Hotspur last night and his tactical review of the game, Ben Davis is absolutely. It's almost imperative to the way we play with the centre back joining midfield with the ball and giving the defence an absolute nightmare.
Here's one for you. Good morning, Cody Mack. He's saying, good morning, gentlemen. Does Ben ship coffee internationally?
I can do, but it's quite expensive, unfortunately. I sent some coffee to a buddy in America last week, and it was £30 from Royal Mail, and that was the cheapest. So I can do it, but it's not cheap, unfortunately. Perhaps when that the trade deal comes in, it will go down.
And the Irish Hotspur, David, saying this is when football was a contact sport. Nowadays, if you sniff someone, they roll around on the ground.
Yep.
It's true. It really is true. Although quite refreshing this season, they're starting to let some of the challenges go a little bit more. I think it's improved for football generally.
I mean, if we remember the game we lost to Sevilla from Juan de Ramos in, I think it was like 2007 European Cup quarterfinal or Europa League quarterfinal, like Timu Tainio getting sent off for barely touching a guy. And then the guy just rolling and round for 5 minutes. And the reason he got sent off was because he went like that to him and said, "That's what you're doing." And then the ref sent him off. That was a total disgrace, that game.
Absolutely. Gaguma again, Akuva, haha, I love that quote. They kicked us and we kicked them. Yes, it's just one of those, it's a Graham Roberts classic. It sums him up, really. He loved the physical side of the game. Absolutely loved it. Like I've said on a few other streams, I would love to have video footage of him smashing Charlie Nicholas into the crowd on New Year's Day on 1986. I was there in the crowd at the time, and I promise you, a lot of us thought he'd just killed Charlie Nicholas. There was a real hush went over for a few seconds. You could see some of the people close to the incident, hands over their mouths. They couldn't believe what they'd just seen. They just both got up. Got on with the game. Referee didn't even book Graham Roberts. Amazing to see. And despite his sort of pretty boy image, Charlie Nicholas was a bit tougher than he looked. He just got on with the game. Fair play to him in that respect. But still a magic moment. It's one of my favourite in football, and it's just such a bit of mindless violence. But it was necessary.
I can't even remember a tackle like that. The only tackle I can remember like that in the modern era is when Scotty Parker smashed Micah Richards when Man City played us. Like, he put him in the stand. That was a great tackle. I miss Scotty Parker in that team. He was a brilliant player for us. And then AVB ruined him by trying to make him be an attacking midfielder. It's a total disgrace. I mean, he shouldn't have left.
Yeah, we were talking last night after the stream, and we're trying to decide what's the last time Tottenham have had what you'd call an actual hard man in the team. We were struggling to think of anybody. The closest we could come to was maybe Scotty Parker. And we're thinking, well, yeah, it's sort of a fills in, but he's not. It's not a Graham Roberts type. But you just don't get players like it now.
He was a classy midfielder, Scotty Parker. He was a proper midfielder.
Yeah.
I mean, Højbjerg is a bit of a soft, hard man, in my opinion. It definitely gives it a bit more than he can take it. So I'd like him to really enforce that hard man image and start taking some people out. Palacios, Dave said in the chat, Palacios probably. But again,
he was a really tough little player. He really was.
It's a shame he didn't score that goal against the Arsenal.
Yeah. Palacios, got a lot of time for him. Hard as nails, and he was only about 5 foot tall.
Yeah. Nice bloke as well. I was taller than him when I was a mascot for Tottenham against Sunderland when Darren Bent missed that penalty. I was a mascot that day, a really long time ago. I was taller than Wilson Palacios at that point.
And wasn't it Palacios that had news that I think it was his brother had passed
that
away?
day, yeah.
And rather than upsetting the team or anything, he sort of got on with things as best he could. Yeah. And you just think, well, that's just what a professional, what commitment he's got for his team. Absolutely love the bloke. Wish he'd been with us longer, really.
Big old Alan Brazil scoring the tap in to
seal
the 5-0.
Here's a worrying one from Alex Hilton. Yeah. Skip and Højbjerg are reportedly out. I think we should try Sessegnon at centre midfield with Ndombele.
No, Ndombele can fuck off, in my opinion. Sorry for my language this early in the morning, but he shouldn't even play for the under-23s. I mean, look, the man has got less attitude than a broken pencil. That's my quote of the day. He is shocking. He's been nowhere near that team.
But Skip and Højbjerg out, that's like our worst nightmare coming true at the moment.
The Leicester have got a bit of a soft underbelly at the moment, so maybe we might not need that defensive a team against Leicester. But Winks he'll have to play well tomorrow, because Winks will have to be in the team if he's fit.
Or will it be Ndombele? You'd think it's Winks, because so far he's been given the chance, as Ndombele hasn't really. Kind of fits in with what our perception of the player when Conte isn't picking him as well.
Yeah.
Mark Cousins, Ben Davies has a twin. We've had his crap brother for ages. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Why have we got all these twin brothers at the football club? It's really annoying. Are we paying their wages as well?
Absolutely. It seems like it's total transformation with a few players. But it's a bit of a tumble there.
He's too busy being in dreamland because we're beating the scum 5-0.
Yeah, it could be. Perhaps he just wanted something to do.
Yeah. Possibly.
He was a great goalkeeper, Ray Clements.
What a player. Yeah.
What have we got here? People saying hello to each other generally. Yes, I was there at the 86 North London derby on New Year's Day. Yeah, it was great time. I was 14 years old then. I went with one of my friends and his dad, and as usual, away crowd, nice and noisy. Low, obviously. We'd also seen the season before when we played Arsenal similar circumstances. And that match was a great moment from Graham Roberts. As soon as we scored a goal, I think it was the equalising goal or something like that. There's players celebrating, and you can see Graham Roberts. He's just trotting slowly past all the rich Arsenals of the crowd. They're posh, they're posh bit. Forgotten the name of it now. I was going to say the West Stand or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, Graham Roberts just trotting slowly past them, giving them 2 fingers up to the crowd. He thought it'd be a mass load of trouble today doing that, but back then it was just funny. Just legendary bloke. I just love him a bit.
I'd like to see him. Apparently, he's a fan of this channel, so hopefully he joins us one day and reminisces about good old times on a few.
Oh, I'd absolutely love that. I'd probably go speechless though. He's just such a hero of mine.
Yeah.
But he loves the naughty side of the game. What more can you say?
It's definitely something that it's missed in football nowadays. There are barely any really naughty players, but could also play as well. A lot of the naughty players are just naughty players, like the Xhakas, the who's the guy that plays for Bournemouth that always does us in? He plays for it's centre midfield for Bournemouth. The one that got Sonny sent off. It'll come back to me eventually.
I'm trying to think. Bournemouth players. I keep getting. I'm thinking too long ago with a few of them.
Whatever.
That's it. That's one for the crowd. Try and work out who the Bournemouth player is that got Sonny sent off.
Yeah, but there's all the naughty players now can't really play football. But back then, the naughty players were some of the best footballers on the pitch. Not only could they play football, they were stalwart, just bastards.
Phil saying Razor Ruddock. Yeah, he was another one, big character. I loved watching him. He wasn't our best centre back, but he was one you could really get behind. Yeah. He was just a lad. Still is.
Ben Thatcher was a proper hard man as well, but he got sent off well too many times.
Yeah, he wasn't all that good, really, was he? He was just a hard bloke. Wayne Bonner, Palacios, and Sandro were both good. Yeah, I loved Sandro as well. It's another one that he lived for the tackle. When he was on top form, we had a really good run in Europe that season under Redknapp.
Yeah. It's a shame Sandro was always injured. He just had glass ankles.
Yeah, it's one of those. As soon as the first serious injury happened, it was just a catalogue of them. Happens with so many players, unfortunately. Sandro had that beast season. Yeah, that's exactly the one I'm thinking of. It was, and like Wanyama. Yeah,
I wouldn't call him a hard man though. He was a good footballer and he was a strong lad, but he wasn't a hard man.
Yeah, it's a different sort of player. I mean, powerful certainly.
Yeah.
Wanyama, complete destroyer.
Yeah.
Even before we had him, he had a match when he was playing for Southampton against the Gooners.
Yeah.
I remember it, and the only way you could describe it was he single-handedly shut down their entire midfield.
He shut down the best midfielder of all time when he was playing for Celtic on his own when they beat them 1-0.
Yeah. True enough. It's just great player. Yeah. Another one wrecked by injuries, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we've had a few of those as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
Gaza obviously wrecking his knee in the cup final. Early cup final as well. Wayne Bonner, celery agent, good shout. Loved Wanyama, especially alongside Musa. Yeah, I mean,
Musa was a hell of a player.
Say no more. You're not getting through those two with any sort of level of comfort, are you?
One of the best, because I was in Turin and I was sitting with the Juventus fans because I've got people really high up at Juventus, lots of friends high up at Juventus. So I was front row to watch Moussa Dembele turn up, and it was just the Moussa Dembele show. He was just absolutely played them off the park that night. And the only reason we didn't win that game is because they got a stupid penalty decision. That was a silly penalty they gave them.
Yeah. Wayne Bonner here. Love Graham Roberts. I'd love to hear him tell some stories of his playing days. Yeah, who wouldn't? He's just one of those larger than life characters.
Gaguma got Jefferson Lerma, by the way. That's the one I was talking about.
That's him. Yeah.
Top marks.
Yeah.
Top marks, Gaguma.
I was suddenly getting the name Lasana in my head, and I thought, no, that's not it. No. Yeah, you're quite right. Cook. Oh no, yeah, certainly a Bournemouth player, but that's not the one nailed it.
It was definitely Jefferson Lerma. Proper naughty chap he is.
What were your thoughts on Ben Taleb from David Harris? I actually liked him to start with. I thought he was going to be our version of Busquets. But he just, I don't know what happened. He sort of got a bit full of himself, didn't he? He was taking his eye off the job in hand and perhaps getting the fame getting to his head a little bit too much. But he just sort of faded away badly, unfortunately. Had to go. And what else we got? Alexander Hilton at the Irish Hotspur, average, couldn't go past Dyer in midfield with Wanyama. We perhaps we're talking about Bentaleb there, maybe.
Yeah, Bentaleb looked like a proper player to start with, but then he just everything went to his head too quickly. I think it was Tim Sherwood pumping his head through with opinions that he's some sort of great. So everything went to his head too quickly. I mean, when we played the Arsenal in that 2-1, Bentaleb and Mason absolutely played them off the park. They were brilliant that day in that 4-4-2 system we played against them.
Wayne Bonner saying, is Bentaleb still in Germany? I think he might be.
He might possibly. I think he got released from Schalke, right? I think he got released.
He was coming up to the end of his contract. I wouldn't be surprised if they signed him on a brief extension or something like that. I don't know. I have no idea. Well, I'd like to Google that in a minute as well. There's Gaguma just saying Jefferson Lerma. Yeah, just Googled it. That's one of our best scouting agents, isn't it, old Mr. Google? And David replying, Alexander, that's fair. Yep. Gaguma, yep. And
wingers are midfielders in my book. If you're in the book, they are midfielders.
Yeah.
So technically, I wasn't wrong.
Indeed. You look at all the games from the 80s, any of the wingers, they're listed as midfield. Alexander Hilton again saying still at Schalke. So, yeah, perhaps he's
sorry for them. I feel sorry for them. They got relegated because of that bastard Mr. Man with the ticket, Christian Gross. There's my ticket.
Is that another one you could say it's all down to sort of financial difficulties?
I don't know. Christian Gross is a shocking manager. Schalke have had financial difficulties for years, but as soon as they put him in charge, it was done for them.
And that was the end of the Spurs 5, Arsenal 0 from back in April 1983.
Yeah.
What did we think to that? Picture quality okay? I could watch that. It's all right. 5 goals past the scum's going to be good for any time of day and any time sort of quality. But what else we got? Nothing else in chat at the moment. What should we have a talk about, Ben? What Leicester game? Should we be going ahead with it?
I still wouldn't go ahead. I still think if there's new COVID cases in the Tottenham team, which we said yesterday, there's no way the game should go ahead. The Leicester game shouldn't go ahead, and the Liverpool shouldn't go ahead. Even possibly the West Ham game. It's too risky to really do it at the moment, and I think we should really they should be having the circuit breaker we were all talking about.
Yeah, I think it's panic stations now when you see that talk of both Skippy and Højbjerg out because oh dear, that's going to be a real test for Conte if he can get the same sort of energy and commitment as when those two are playing. Can't see it though, can you?
No, I can't. I mean, he's an unbelievable manager, but he's not a prophet. He's not Moses. He's not going to be able to part that Red Sea, unfortunately.
as he said a few weeks back, I'm not a magician.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with it. Wayne Bonner saying that was a damn good watch. Yeah, enjoyed that. It's nice background viewing. Just every now and then something catches your eye, and that was with no Hoddle or Ardiles or Mickey Hazard. There was none of your usual flair players in midfield. It's a strange one, that, and yet still battering the scum. That's where they belonged, on the end of a 5-0 beating every week.
Yeah. Everywhere they go, Arsenal get battered everywhere they go. Especially with Captain Black in charge. I don't know if anyone actually... I keep on saying Captain Black. I don't even know if you get that, Kuva, if you watched anything Jerry Anderson growing up.
Oh, it's the Captain Scarlet.
Yeah, he's a splitting image of Captain Black. So that's what I've always called him. Yeah, he's just Captain Black.
There's the old Lego references as well. Yeah. They're always good.
He's just Captain Black. It's the Mr-Ons are in charge of Arsenal, unfortunately.
He absolutely is.
Then their war of nerves.
Mark Cousin saying, who knows who has got it, if more are positive every day. That's the thing, isn't it? We could be testing positive morning of the match, and then suddenly, what do you do then? Call the game off in the morning, or are you still going to prolong it and hope people get through? It just makes, well, Ben and I are in agreement with this anyway. It makes so much sense just to have a little circuit breaker, let clubs have time to recover and regroup, deal with any sort of outbreaks they've got in their own camp. Then we'll talk about getting the fixtures back on. If we have to spread them out over the rest of the season, so be it. It's not like it's just the common cold, is it? We are talking COVID-19 here. Let's be sensible with things. Besides, you've always got Tottenham Tantrum Gold to show you a few classics while the games aren't on. So like every and subscribe, please.
Every morning.
Let's give your channel a little bit of a... Well, let's give Ben a bit of a big up again, shall we? There we go. Ben at the Coffee Company.
Hopefully soon to have our YouTube channel up and running. I just need to sort that out.
What's the coffee blend on this morning, Ben?
We've just gone for our typical ice breaker, which is a natural Ethiopian. It's rather tasty. More and more people are going for the Christmas blend at the moment, which is nice to see because I need to get rid of it. Otherwise, I can't have Christmas coffee in January. I need to get it out the door.
So they are. Missing coffee for Christmas, get down to Ben's coffee house. There we go. What else have we got on the horizon? So supposing Leicester goes ahead, even if it does go ahead and we're having to play our skeleton team basically, but drifting in some of those fringe players, what if we start getting injuries on top of that? Where's that going to leave us?
It means we have to go into the transfer market. I mean, we should go into the transfer market anyway because the strength and depth in the team to compete over four competitions is not good enough. And we have to dip in anyway to get that extra midfielder, that extra defender, maybe an extra striker, even if it's like a loan move, like an Alvaro Morata to play in the cup games.
Morata, we'd need him. I wouldn't pick it Morata myself, but compared to what we've got at the moment as backup, I mean, Dane Scarlett, good promising player, but
he's too young. You can't risk him. It's the same with Troy Parrott.
You can't pull that weight on a young lad's shoulders and expect him to be at the top of his game, especially since he's going to need service as well, and that's the bit we've been struggling with. So we are threadbare thin, aren't we? As I was saying before, even if we just get some journeyman sort of players in that transfer window, we need somebody just with that right attitude. They're prepared to work hard, can trap and pass a ball properly, and can move. That makes such a difference. It's funny we have to take it that basic to our team and say some of our players can't do that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, here goes Gaguma. Yep. What's that? Oh, for the good watch, probably. Yeah. Watching Arsenal getting beat every day of the week. Alexander Hilton, give the leftover Christmas coffee to Wings to wake up.
I don't think he deserves that good coffee.
I don't think you have that amount of stock, do you, Ben?
No, I'm not giving him that coffee anyway. He hasn't earned the right to have my coffee.
Yeah, fair enough. He can pay for it out of his own wages, though, surely.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. A bit of a markup, I think, for Alexander Hilton, Insigne.
He's a left winger, not a striker. But I don't think Insigne's leaving until Napoli's because they're on a title challenge this year. And if Insigne, the captain of Napoli, Napoli born and bred, Napoli in his blood, leaves them midway during the title challenge, there would be death threats. There will be people outside his house.
Yeah, you just can't see it, really, can you?
Yeah.
Good player, mind.
Brilliant player. I'd love to have it. But who do you play, him or Sonny? Because they play in the same position.
Well, that gives you the opportunity to play Sonny up front, doesn't it? Give Kane a bit of
possibly, but again, we need a ball playing number 9. That's the way Conte wants to play. Sonny is not the guy for a Conte system on his own.
It's that name again, isn't it? It's everybody's saying it. Vlahovic. It's the obvious choice for us at the moment. There's a few others that are similar in style, but nobody that's really hitting the front running like he is at the moment.
Vlahovic is a Rolls Royce of a player. He is unbelievable.
God, I'll tell you what, that previous Spurs match finished. I've got on in the background another classic match at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to put another one on, but perhaps we better not. We've been going for an hour and a quarter.
We can't go for another 3-hour stream today, unfortunately.
All I'll say is I'm currently watching a bit of Darren Anderton and Gary Mabbott talking. That's the kind of game we've got on at the moment. Jerry Francis in charge.
Yeah, that mullet as well. Some of my oldest Spurs memories are sitting in the shelf of this guy that sat in front of me. Like, he would always scream at Anderton, "Get out on the wing," because it was that era when Anderton was trying to be more of a central striker to back up the Teddy Sheringham and whoever, Les Ferdinand. But there wasn't having it. Anderson, you're a winger, play on the wing, put those balls in the box.
Worked perfectly. Teddy Sheringham sharing a joke with Paul Merson there. I would have been sharing an elbow with him. But never mind. There we go. Alexander Hilton, please no Morata. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that way as well. But
Conte got a tune out of him when he was playing under him at Juventus, so he might be able to put him back on. So you never know.
That's it exactly. He sounds underwhelming to me as well. But like you said, if Conte can get a tune out of him, that might turn out to be a really good signing. Here we go. I prefer Irish Hotspur up front. Yeah, David would say that as well, I think. Yeah, there's a few options if we're not doing Vlahovic, but he's the standout for most people now. Been talking about him so much. Trouble is, so many teams are interested now.
I mean, if he comes to us, it would be the heist of the century. He should be playing for a Real Madrid, for a Manchester City. Players in the Champions League that because I don't think Fiorentina are in a European competition this year, are they? Or are they in the Europa League?
I
don't know when they finished. I think they finished 4th or 5th last year, so they might be in the Europa League.
I think they must be in the Europa League, surely.
Surely, yeah.
Yeah.
He'll go to a Champions League club because that's a player of his quality should be in the Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely. He's as people keep saying, he's looking like he's going to be the big talent for a generation sort of thing. Could well be. There's overtures of Ibrahimovic. And having watched how he's developed, can see it. There's no weaknesses to his game. He literally does all of it. Interesting. He could be an absolute bargain, even if we spend 70 million on him.
Yeah, it's 70 million worth paying. I think I love leaving Fiorentina would be sad because I love that stadium and playing in front of that stadium must be absolutely magical. I love that stadium, the Franchi. It's a brilliant stadium.
Yeah. There's a few foreign stadiums I'd love to go to. I think Dortmund's another one.
Yeah.
Just the reputation of being a fantastic place to watch football. I mean, you got the food and the drink flowing, and the place is rocking. It's a brilliant place to be. So what we got? Alexander Hilton, 5-1 Spurs versus Arsenal. Are we talking about the classic semi-final win? That'll be something we'll have to put on at some point.
Can we show that? Because it's a Sky Sports game, that was.
Is it Sky Sports or because it was a cup game, would it have been on a different channel? We'll look into it anyway.
I think it was on Sky.
It could have been. We will look into that one anyway, because if it's available, of course we'd want to put that on. and Chelsea getting battered as well, right, in the semi-final. These are games we all love. Mark Cousins, 70 million. Who's going to nick Levy's wallet? That's the big question, isn't it? Are we going to spend big? Are we going to spend at all? It's that's make or break for us in a lot of ways, that January window.
They're already throwing smoke screens to say we haven't actually got any money. So maybe Brian Daigle was right. I think it's going to be another one of those times when Brian Daigle says something and it happens. So I really hope that it's just a smoke screen thrown by Paratici just to try and get people off the scent of how much money we're going to spend in Jan. But he's never, he barely misses Brian Daigle.
Yeah, it would be good to say, look, calm down, Brian, you're wrong. But I think we're going to be up there behind him at the gates of White Hart Lane, calling for Levy by any time soon. We'll see anyway. Looks like you got some customers, mate.
Yeah, I do, unfortunately. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to head off. But
that's no problem.
It was great spending time with yourself and everyone as always.
I think we've been going on well over an hour now, so I think we'll wrap it up for this morning. Yep. Cheers, Ben. Thank you for joining us again.
And we'll see you probably next Monday, unfortunately.
Next Monday. That's no problem. Anytime you're ready, mate. Okay. Thank you very much. Cheers. And we'll wrap it up there. I'd like to say thank you for everybody for joining the channel. Some good questions came up as usual. Let's see what we've got here. Big up Tottenham Tantrum Army. Thank you, Catman Jess. Always good to see your name coming on there. And Gaguma saying, take care, Ben. Thank you. Yep, he's gone, but he knows the feeling. Gaguma, you're so lovely with everybody. Such a big supporter of so many channels. We all enjoy seeing your name pop up. Right, so we'll be on later again this evening, showing a classic Spurs-Leicester match. We'll be on with Phil Lattis. I think we're going on it's either 5 or 5:30. I'll check again in a minute. But until then, Alexander Hilton, yes, definitely get well, Bob Spur. He's in all our thoughts at the moment. Such a big personality around the Spurs channels, and behind the scenes, you don't see everything that some of us other YouTubers do. Bob is there for everybody. He's very big on the mental health issues at the moment, as we all are, trying to get a little bit more awareness around so many young men in particular that are going through hard times and unfortunately turn to extreme measures to get out of it. It's an important thing to keep at the forefront. It affects so many of us. But Bob, we're just desperate for you to see you back on your channel where you belong, and getting some laughs and some insight from you it's always a good factor when you've got Bob on the screen. So well said, Alexander. We do want to see Bob up and running quickly. Right, going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the football, and we will see you later today. Come on, you Spurs.